It's a little after 9 o'clock on Wednesday, August 6th, time for the weekly meeting of Logansport Border Works and Safety. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Aaron's here. We can start the meeting. Roll call, please.
Mayor Franklin?
Here.
Chris Armstrong?
Here.
Ron Miller?
Present.
Approval of minutes from the July 30th, 2014 meeting.
I've read them. I'd make a motion to approve as presented the minutes from the July 30th, 2014 meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, pass it on a vote of 3-0. Approval of claims in the amount of $64,583.89.
Again, I've read them. I'd make a motion we approve the claims in the amount of $64,583.89.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
None.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, pass it on a vote of 3-0. There is, let's see, there's no licenses for consideration. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. Visitor comments. It's not a city council meeting, so there'll be no visitor comment. Old business, code enforcement officer. No old business from the code enforcement officer. Under new business, we have a request for a dumpster to be placed. The address is 300 Water Street. According to the diagram, the dumpster would be placed on Liberty Street. That would be the 1200 block, so about 1205 would be the address. I'm very familiar with the area, and I see absolutely no problem with it. They're certainly trying to clean up or improve their property. So is there any discussion regarding this request? I'd make the motion that we approve the request to place a dumpster in the 1200 block of Liberty Street to service the home that's located at 300 Water Street.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. Under reports, building commissioner is the first one up. Hi, Bill.
I supplied a copy of my report for your review. If you have any questions, I'll entertain those questions. Otherwise, I have nothing to add to my report at this time.
Bill, I noticed that it seems to be sort of an ongoing occurrence, waiting on design drawings for Sagamore Warehouse. Is that, I'm just not sure that I understand exactly, and maybe you don't either, but it seems a little strange.
You're correct. We are still waiting on design drawings for the project that's ongoing. We met with the owners back some months ago, 5 or 6 months ago, in a technical review meeting, and we concur that they're not required to get state or local permitting because they are on railroad property doing construction, but they're still bound by all local codes and ordinances and regulations. Which one of those is to produce construction documents so that we as a community can go through the different phases. We have outstanding issues that we haven't reviewed yet because of that. One is stormwater management issues for the site because that location is within the city limits at this point in time. So we have regulations for that. The health department has not received any septic system design drawings nor well water design drawings or applications to my knowledge at this point in time. So
will they still be required to receive a certificate of occupancy before they can use the building?
That was discussed at the original technical review meeting, and it was clearly stated to them that if they do require receipt of a certificate of occupancy for whatever reason, that they would be required to supply all documents. And so at this point, I'm not sure whether they are requiring a certificate of occupancy for any usage. Because it is railroad property, we have no restrictions on them operating without a certificate of occupancy.
Right.
It would really fall into if they have any contractual requirements on their end for certification of construction.
I knew that you would be on top of that and be able to explain it. It just seemed a little puzzling to me, and it's certainly a break from our standard practices as far as drawings, permits, and certificates of occupancy. But
As a note, there was a meeting held on site last week, which John Hipskin chaired the meeting. I did not attend the meeting, and the information that was given then was that they would be supplying the documentation as requested, so, but we have yet to see it.
okay. And obviously, we're very aware of your efforts on the blight elimination program and the owner-occupied grant program. So march on, you're doing good work with that.
Thank you.
I have no questions for the building commissioner other than the one. Is there any more discussion, questions for building commissioner? I make the motion we approve his report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0. Code enforcement officer. Hi, George.
Good morning. You have in front of you my report for your review and hopeful approval. I did have 2 notice to appears to letters sent out today. However, both of those have been resolved, so I have nobody to bring in front of the board.
Okay, any questions for code enforcement officer?
Have none. I make a motion we approve the code enforcement officer's report.
I have a second to that motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0. Superintendent of Public Works is due next week, and then Parks Administrator next week as well, and then Police and Fire Chief. So that's all the reports that are due from department heads. Are there any board member comments?
I would like to just say that I have had probably a half dozen phone calls from people who don't live in Logansport, as well as people who live here, saying how nice the flower pots and hanging planters look, and asking information about how that's taken care of. And so kudos to whomever is responsible for that. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, they do, and they are gargantuan in size this year. It's the biggest I've ever seen. I mean, 2 years ago they looked spectacular, and I think this year tops that. So, yeah, they're looking really good. Any more board member comments? Hearing none. Miscellaneous business, including ADA Section 504 compliance or concerns, or any other matters not already considered. Hearing none. Entertain a motion. We're adjourned.